Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we're going to be continuing our series of updating the Precons. Just a few days left before we finally get to see Zendikar Rising. So actually one thing we should be doing now that especially the entire spoiler for Zendikar is out, with the entire card gallery is up, we should be, aside from just mentioning cards I can slot in and put in, I should also be mentioning basically in general what are cards that we should be looking for, what are the spots that we should fill, because those are cards that we could probably use to fill up the spots that are missing. But for now, as usual, what we're going to do is we're going to examine a deck, a Precon as is. We're going to play a few games with it. Then, as we learn about where it's weak, we start. we then move forward to building up a whole way and making all the changes we need and see if it goes better. So here we have something called Massive Menagerie, and the idea is it really wants to play 4 power creatures. It really wants to go big, so you know this. Aside from the awkward Almighty Brushwag, we got Wolf Willowhaven, ramp. Maraleaf Pixie, ramp. Llanowar Visionary, ramp. Cultivate, ramp. So it's basically lots of ramp. You're basically using this like 2. You get to 4 mana, so you could either play this or you could set up a Cultivate. Then basically you kind of want to go 4, 6. You really want to hit this big stuff. Also, Beanstalk Giants also ramp. So we actually have lots of ramp here. And the idea is we want to use this ramp to hit our big cards. So pretty much the question is, what are the good big cards? We're generally going to be generating card advantage to Tundra Snapper. Though the caveat is it's looking for really high-end costs. So we might end up having to sub this, or we might end up having to just keep bumping the top end. That said, we're going to go with this deck. We're going to, as is, we're going to see if we can make changes along the way and see how to make it better. As always, we'll be doing standard 2021 play. And once we're done with that, we will go to the clone deck and make changes on that one. See what we can make better. So, looking at that one. So what are we looking for in the opening hand here? Probably a good question since that's what popped up. Well, we definitely need early plays. We cannot just expect to play land 4-drop. We actually have to either be actively we pretty much have to be actively ramping. So this is kind of the caveat where, because we're actively ramping, we can just we can limit our choices on our top end creatures. We don't need to have a ton of them. We just need to have enough. So right now we have the awkward part of we have 1 ramp card but nothing else to cast afterwards. Like, let's say we hit Wolf Willowhaven. We won't be able to cast this. We won't be able to cast Kolga. We're still dependent on the next few draws. If they happen to be more of this, we're in trouble. I'll give this a try. So we'll see if we make it or not. At the very least, we still have a Wolf Willowhaven we can hit. So we hit the Temple of Mastery. I kind of want to play the Temple first since we're not exactly... There we go. So what we can do is... So since we know we have to Cultivate, that's pretty much what we're going to do immediately. Opponent goes Stonecoil Serpent. So this is pretty much... what do you call this? Yeah, this is pretty much a Mutate deck. So we're kind of leaning on Kolga and Sublime Epiphany. We're going to ramp hard. So we're gonna need more blue mana at this. We'll just do 1 blue, 1 green. Next turn is not gonna be impressive. Wolf Willowhaven. The only advantage is our opponent's on the slow end right now. So next turn, Garrick's Uprising. Okay, thank goodness it's a relatively slow start. Oh, sorry, wrong card. Cancel. I meant to drag Wolf Willowhaven. Also, our opponent seems to be mono green, so there are not that many responses I can think of. The ones I can think of are Garrick's Harbinger. Draws a card. We're gonna get hit for 2. We can Kolga to snipe the Harbinger. Or, because we're at 7 mana, Our opponent can just mutate on top of this. Opponent's just gaining life. I guess it makes sense though, usually... Okay, we'll also have to be careful. Opponent's not 5. There's a questing beast. So we're gonna let that hit come in. Because we do have the Ram True. If we draw another mana, like that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you have 8 mana. So I'm just going to ram through this. Because our opponent's in the back foot, he's definitely going to cast a spell. Going to pass. This is where Sublime Epiphany comes in. Yeah, our opponent really doesn't have that much in the way of effects. Opponent probably suspects we have it, so they might just swing, which is actually fine. Because the 6-drop's gonna beat the 2. The 6 power will beat the 2 power almost any day. Opponent goes Yorvo. We're gonna counter, return, create a token, draw a card. So this is for the return. So we're going to bounce the Stonecoil Serpent, target a creature, control this for the copy. Actually, I could have just bounced the Uprising, snipe that one. But no, we're just gonna bounce this, get another card. Okay, triggers that don't happen. Our opponent could recast that, but we got the Cold Gun ready. So yeah, we really want to focus on the ramp, and then we can kind of break our opponent's spirit there. I'm okay with the 1 copy of Sublime Epiphany, though it feels awfully weird. That said... Yeah, I might as well just cast that. So it doesn't matter which one hits. Now, and our opponent is like 5 mana, so we're not expecting an Ugin. Our opponent will have to tank Ugin if they're going to survive. Opponent taps 6 mana for a 6/6 Stonecoil Serpent, sure. Draws a card, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, the Sublime Epiphany is gonna probably be the premier counterspell in the future, but limited strictly to green-blue. I do expect it to do wonders though, so we should keep an eye out for that. So it's looking like the Wolfwillow Havens are gonna be a must. The Cultivates are gonna be a must. Gilded Goose is probably still fine because it's not here in the deck, but it's something I'm considering. It's a 1 into a 3, so you can either Gilded Goose into the Beanstalk Giant, or you can Gilded Goose into a Cultivate. Both of them are really good ideas. We're not gonna have Arboreal Grazer anymore, and no Growth Spiral anymore for that matter. Uro is something that we probably should consider on the 3 mana slot because it's going to be a war of attrition even if we have the big creatures. A lot of our creatures are still vulnerable to, say, direct removal. Some well, there's no Priest of Forgotten God, so that sacrifice effect's gone. Terror of the Peaks might be an issue because if your opponent's creatures are big enough, that will deal quite a bit of damage. So... otherwise... The green-blue deck is the one I felt like has the most promise. You just have to have a very good start and something to finish in the end. So this one's questionable. We're missing the blue mana. Our opponent has Allura, so it's clearly a very fast deck. I can't wait for a turn 3 Llanowar Visionary. I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, this is better. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. We have the Cultivate anyway, so I'm gonna keep 6. I'm gonna bin an island. So what we're going to do is we're gonna see how fast this is. This could just be the All That Glitter style deck. So yeah, cards like Fully Grown are... we probably want this to be more like Ram True. The blue, we want it to be more like Bounce. So here comes Alseid, so not... and a Beloved Princess. So this could just be all 1-drops. So we're still way behind. We will at least get the Tundra Snapper, but Fencing ace. Okay, we're fencing ace. So we're expecting an all that glitters to come down soon. Actually, let's get our forests. So cultivate's more preferable. It just gets it out of the way. Again, yeah, we don't have much of a mid game. That's pretty much the problem, especially, and this is why just dropping land is not a good idea. Opponent is doing a hybrid play though, so we probably still won't stand a chance. Yeah, the fully growns are really dead cards here. I really don't like that. We have to block the one that's most likely gonna kill us. Let's see what our opponent has for pump effects. Fight as one. Okay, that will kill it. And indestructible. Actually, this is an interesting idea. Just mono aggro. If your opponent's not running any rat effects, yeah, it's solid. I'll concede here. This is a good game. Just basic. So this one demonstrates the problem of not being able to do anything early. And unfortunately, green-blue is a combination that needs to land a creature in order to do something. So this is why there's the emphasis on being able to ramp turn 2, ramp turn 3. Preferably the ramp has something on it. Like if we're able to ramp turn 2, say either with the Pixie or the Wolf Willow Haven, we would have gotten the 4-drop. We would still be taking damage, but not as much. And our setup would be somewhat better. So I still want to keep the Beanstalk Giants and the Cultivates, but I want to emphasize more on ramping on turn 2. Ramping on turn 1 kind of counts also, but at least ramping on turn 2. Another alternate is, okay, so we have 3 mana, we got the ramp on turn 2, and an additional ramp afterwards, so we might have a chance of dropping the Serpent of Yawning Depths. Even though 6/6 for 6, that is virtually unblockable, but otherwise feels lackluster. Okay, Selfless Savior. Okay, opponent's going to try to protect their stuff. We're keeping the Cultivate. So turn 2, Wolf Willow Haven, turn 3. So this is Dogs into Embercleave. And given a choice, always target the basic land. So we get another shot at ramp. Unfortunately, these guys are not gonna die to combat. We're just literally blocking them. We're only lucky that our opponent does not have yeah, unfortunately, as you can see, this is still too slow. We really need a mid-drop creature. Like, we're gonna take 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, this is too slow. Good game. So, it looks like the game is giving us all these bad matchups right now. You can complain about it, but this is the best learning experience. You know what your deck is weak against. You can't just be, okay, I'm gonna play this deck, I'm going to hope I'm gonna land XXX of my good matchups and run it there. No. You have to start having a plan. It doesn't necessarily mean a deck change, it just means that you have to have a strategy. Here in this case, because we're updating the Precon, it will include it's definitely about updating the deck. So we want to prioritize 3 drops, we want to prioritize 4 drops. Actually, that makes it interesting because we have an Elder Gargoyle as our mythic. I definitely want to bring a Questing Beast in. I definitely want to bring an Uro in. Yeah, there's no reason not to bring an Uro. Now, interesting, we do have a 1-drop. It just feels weird. I will definitely play it first, though. Well, we have the first turn. I'm not going to play it first. Basically, on the off chance we draw a Maraleaf Pixie or a Wolf Willow Haven, I want to be able to play that turn 2. Okay, we did not, so let's see if our opponent wants to burn this. So we got the turn 3 Cultivate. I'm gonna have to decide between Beanstalk and Cultivate. It's most likely gonna be Cultivate unless we happen to draw another Brushwag. No, it's gonna be cultivate. So next turn we got a Tundra Snapper. Alpine Houndmaster. So this could easily be Winota or Embercleave or both. This is the typical version for it. So we'll take the one. We'll save this one for this, although our opponent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Yeah, slightly unfortunate. I could just play the fully grown as a surprise. I could just hold this up as a surprise also. I'm gonna play the Tundra Snapper first. Let's get some cards on the board because we know we're going to have Kolga next turn. Kogla. Okay, opponent's dropping dogs, so doesn't have the Embercleave. The first thing we're going to snipe is Kogla. Also, we could use a few humans. I'd like the idea of being able to return. I probably could snipe, I probably could go for this one on the assumption our opponent has Winota. Unfortunately, like, there's gonna be 2 more triggers. This one is the one thing we can deal with on board now. There's the Winota. We're gonna see 3 different cards come down. So, we'll see. Opponent whiffs on 1. Basilisk Lieutenant, that's a buff. Let's see what's next. So we could just block the Alpine, another Alpine Houndmaster. Shooters, but does not get this trigger. We're not gonna block these 2. So we're gonna block his enablers. He'll get a knight out of this, but can't be helped. So we're gonna take a little bit of damage. Opponent's gonna get another knight. Kinda wish we really want cards like Ramtrue in order to snipe cards like Winota. So, that said, I could just play the Beanstalk Giant straight, it'll draw me a card. I could also block with the Brushwag, surprise with Fully Growed. Actually, it's just... we need 3 mana for that, so... okay, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3... okay, let's just do this now. So we definitely need to start sniping these smaller creatures. I'm still expecting an Embercleave, that's a problem. Selfless Savior... that will probably protect Winota. So we'll let those triggers... wait. That's 1 trigger. Okay, there should be 2... oh, because this is a regular knight. The picture's only a human. Okay, so Basilisk Lieutenant's a good one. There's a Hacktoss and Scarred. Can protection from 4. So we could block with this one, but it's probably gonna die anyway. We just need to figure out if we can survive. Okay, opponent whiffs on that one. This one grows, so we have to snipe this one. So how do we block? Let's go to blocks. Can't block with that one. I can block with this. No, I'm gonna block with this one with Winota. I'm gonna block this one with this one. Igneous Cur. So what are we taking? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have to block the oh no, we have to block that one. That's a 6. So we'll see how opponent did have the Embercleave. So he just pumps probably the Alpine Houndmaster. That's good game. So yeah, so as always, we need more removal. We're going to concede right there. Yeah, removal is important. If we had the Ramtrue, we could blank the Embercleave at least. That would have been a great shot. So let's see. I guess we have time for one more. Quick match, but I'm already starting to see the flaws. I know there's gonna be some fight effects at instant speed. Even then, we need to look like Primal Fury is gonna be a very good fight card. even in that previous one, even if we were not taking out Winota at instant speed, we could still be taking out a lot of the other cards individually. Brazen Borrower is probably a decent one, although I might rather save it for a spell-based bounce. Doesn't have... Let's save our Mythic slot for something better. I could have... I guess I would have been taking more damage early, but I could be reducing the number of triggers. That's also another way to play around with Nota. Something to consider. Many things to consider, actually. So... Okay, we're gonna keep this one. Again, it's a bit sketchy but we know that most of our real ramp is on turn 3, so I guess we do Llanowar Visionary first. Selfless Savior, probably Dogs again. Okay, we got Wolfwillow Haven though. So we got some ramp, just nothing to really do with it. Like, I could just play Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. Now, if we draw Cultivate, the other thing I'm considering is, because we have so much ramp, why fight it? Just put one copy of Ugin. Our opponent's about to drop Heliod, so that should start buffing up these guys. Speaker of the Heavens, so 21. Selfless Savior, so 22. We need to snipe the Daxos, which might take a while. Okay, we do have 6 mana. I'll do Llanowar Visionary, and we could kind of surprise with fully grown. Even if it just eats a Selfless Savior, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next turn, we have the option for Beanstalk Giant. I might just play one straight. Heliod Sun Crown, X equals 5. Gonna force our opponent to sack Selfless Savior to protect Speaker. At the very least, it means... Oh, yeah, that's still enough. And another Selfless Savior. Opponent's just letting all the dogs out. I unfortunately have to... I have to take the hit, and our opponent's gonna start getting angels. Wow. The triple Selfless Savior, that was a problem. So this one taps. Yeah, and this is gonna get out of hand really quickly. Yeah, as you can see, the problem is, like, what? We just did this and we only did 2 spells. Wolfwillow Haven's great in that it doesn't die, but the problem is it doesn't affect the board either. Like, right now I'm about to drop the Beanstalk Giant, but it's only gonna block a Heliod. It won't be able to remove Speaker at this rate because there are too many dogs. Okay, so I've kind of seen enough. We just got matched up against every possible aggro deck. So what are the cards that we probably can afford to drop? So let's go to our clone deck and we'll make edits. So first, let's cut off the creatures that don't quite pay off. Serpent does not pay off. Pursued Whale does not pay off. Torn Mammoth kind of pays off, but it's a bit too expensive. I might want something else. Let's see what else. Brushwag does not pay off. Witching Well does not pay off. At this rate, I would rather just play a tap land on turn 1. So we need to look for, like, add mana. And we have to also make sure we're looking at the right sets. So I did say Gilded Goose was an option, even if it's a 1-shot. Our 2 shots, we have Wolfwillow Haven, Maryleaf Pixie. So not so much in the 2 camp. We could say play Elysian Caryatid. We definitely want a copy of Castle Garen Brick. Like, that's a quick way to get this much mana if we have to. But let's ramp up with Let's ramp up the Wolfwillow Haven first. That's weird. How come I do not see Maryleaf Pixie? Oh, because I typed add mana. It has to just be add. So there we go. I guess we can do Maraleaf Pixie. Let's do 4 and 4. What other cards just add straight? Well, there's a Midnight Clock, not so much. Azusa, probably a way to drop tons of lands. Okay, Llanowar Visionary draws us cards, but okay, we're cutting the Fully Grown. This one's really not panning out. Cultivate. Yeah, I do want Cultivates. I want Great Henge. That's also another one we can benefit. And if we go for more mid drops, we can benefit off it that way. I also want to be on the lookout for early cards that can bounce stuff early. Stern Dismissal is an option. But first, let's look for our mid drops. Also, let's go Cultivate. The Beanstalk Giant, I want to just limit at 3. That's fine. We could run Dryad of the Elysian Grove. That's a way to get more lands down quickly. Not so much though. But let's see. Garrick's Harbinger, definitely. I want to use Garrick's Uprising instead of Thunderous Snapper. So probably about 2 copies of Uprising, 3 copies of Harbinger. Yeah, we cut off quite a few rares that way. Migration Path is an option. Hunter's Edge, and it's great, but unfortunately Sorcery Speed. I want my removal to be at the level of Ram Truce, because we're going to be dropping creatures a lot, so we need them to be cheap. Questing Beast, this is our other mythic. I might just cut Elder Gargaroth altogether. He never got a chance, but we have better options here. Like, we have Questing Beast as a... We have Questing Beast, we have Uro. Even if it's just one of each, that should be fine. Do I want to run Yorvo? That will be slanting us way towards... That'll be slanting us more towards green, which is actually fine because most of the good stuff's in green right anyway. Scavenging Ooze is a way to buy time. If we can trade stuff, we can get that benefit. Normally it's paired with red though. I could run the Wicked Wolf Gilded Goose package. I could run cards like Auspicious Starix. Like, we don't really have much in the way of humans anyway. Oh yeah, Keeper of Fables, also questionable. So we're trying to bring it down. So, let's say Yorvo, that would be okay. That would be good. I already went for 3 Harbingers. I did say we need more removal. Primal Might is in my... Primal Might is what I'm considering. Unfortunately, we lost Voracious Hydra. That would have been okay as well. But let's see. Let's go take a look at blue. Otherwise, we're gonna really be cutting most of the... What are good drops for blue? Something that buys us time. Also, because of the number of lands, we should be looking into landfall. We should start putting all the good landfall cards. That's a good one. Unsubstantiate. It's a bounce spell, or it's bounce. It's spell or creature. It doesn't hit permanents, unfortunately, which might be an issue, but the only thing that returns permanents is that's good is Brazen Borrower. I would try not to... Let's see. Return target. Yeah, it's just creature or enchantment, creature or spell. This one is non-land permanent, but way too expensive. I'm gonna keep the 1 copy of Sublime Epiphany. Maybe that's the way we go. We could also tempo our opponent with Pouncing Shore Shark. This one's a little bit of tech, but we will need to have a lot of early game creatures. Well, we have Harbinger, Yorvo, Uru's not really, but Maraleaf Pixie is. So we have that option. Oh yeah, I'm gonna cut 1 land too. So these actually fit more into this slot. I'm gonna keep the Torn Mammoth for now. We're also having we could also just put actual counter spells instead. Because there's gonna be times when, if we're not ramping, we're just not doing anything. But what do we have? Essence Scatter, that's the best counter. Lofty Denial, we don't exactly have much flying. Everything else is too expensive at this point. Mystical Dispute, maybe. No, I think it's really more in return. So, if only to mess things up, I'm gonna try 2 copies of Unsubstantiate. Now we're gonna do a sanity check. 17 creatures, 18 non-creatures. I prefer to have more creatures over that, so I'm actually gonna cut one cultivate. The problem is Llanowar Visionaries in the awkward spot. I'd rather just have more 4-drops. Okay, let's take a look at our 4-drop slot. Let's see what are the good 4-drops you can have. There's Lovestruck Beast also, yet another rare. Occam Adversary, sometimes randomly good if our opponent's playing green. Like I do see quite a bit of turn 1 Gilded Goose, so this might be this might be tech. So I'm gonna cut one Wolf Willow Haven. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to add one more Ram True. Let's do that first. So we have a case of we have a bunch of creatures, but we're we're only teching up to a few. We don't have that. Well, we still have the Beanstalk Giants, so that's something we could tech up to. Also, no real humans, but that's fine. Let's see. Let's drop an Occam Adversary. I guess we could cut one more land for. Okay, let's give this one a test. Then let's do our land. Let's fix our lands at the same time. Yikes. So 4 Fabled Passage. There you go. That's our lands. So mostly forests, a few islands. So we should be able to hit Yorvo relatively easily. And 1 Castle Garenbrig. So how does this pan out? We'll see. Gonna have to, yeah, let's apply styles. Then let's craft all. I'm really gonna run out of rares at this rate. All for you guys. But so take note, we don't have that much removal. It's still like 6 pieces. We want to be the aggressive one though. I'm just resisting the urge to just pile on 4 Uros, pile on 4 Uros, pile on 4 Questing Beasts, and slap an Ugin while I'm at it. If the Questing Beast does not pan out as a mid drop, I probably would just sub it for an Ugin. So interesting. We got a turn 1 Fabled Passage, turn 2 Pixie, turn 3 Harbinger. We'll see if this pans out. Opponent. Okay, yet another cycling. So no actual trample per se. So this might be a problem if we can't fight this off. So I need to start hitting, so this Maraleaf Pixie is going to attack. So I can just drop Harbinger. Next turn drop Pixie again. We'll see if our opponent takes the time to set up. We're not blocking because our opponent's clearly representing a double cycle. We do have the 2 copies of Unsubstantiate, so maybe we buy some time. So still not blocking, but we do have an Occam Adversary next turn. Opponent's tapping first. I guess our opponent is gonna place like a digging for lands maybe. Okay, no, found the land. Probably a Dranet. Flourishing Fox number 2. So the Occam Adversary is going to be really late drop. We have to take that hit. Cycle again, sure. So we go down to 12. Yeah, since we're racing, let's race. However, our opponent... Okay, it's only 4 cards. So, what are we looking for? Well, we whiffed, so nothing. At least we got Tornwood Falls. We can just drop 1 Maraleaf Pixie at least. I could save 1 attack, just drop 2, but... I don't know. If our opponent starts holding back, we... No, Footfall Creator. Going for the extra trample damage. I will oblige. So we'll still be taking quite a lot of damage. At least we forced our opponent to sack 1 trigger. Go for blood. Didn't opt for the fight though. That's in. Well, I guess they're opting for the extra trample damage. So let's see. This is. So at least we trade off this. Yeah. So at least we trade that off. Unfortunately, this one's just gonna grow bigger. Okay, we have another Harbinger at least. Unfortunately, we bin some of our Ram troops, so that's a problem. And we whiff again. I'm going to just play the Garruk's Harbinger. This is... However, let's see. 5, 6, 7, trample. 7, 3, 4. Oh wait, no. 8. So we'll... So this is a case of, does our opponent have it? And it might not matter, because our opponent has 7 cards anyway. The fact that they didn't cast the Zenith Flare immediately is something. Okay, they probably have Zenith Flare if they're letting it go. Yeah, it's a good game. Zenith Flare... Yeah, Zenith Flare. So maybe some consideration for counter spells. Just a bit unfortunate that we whiffed on our removal. So Garruk's Harbinger... Yeah, actually we whiffed on Garruk's Harbinger all 3 times. Probably need to recheck that creature balance. Give in our go. Then again, those creatures only land on our hand, so maybe... I'm still gonna keep the Harbinger. It's still a 4-drop for 3 mana. Okay, so ignore the turn. We're literally ramping turn 3. Yeah, I probably will make a change. I'll just add the Gilded Geese right now. It looks like we need the extra help we can get. Alpine Watchdog. Okay, bit of a slower start. Unfortunately, our start's also very slow. I might have to pack leader. I might have to just cultivate. Because I can play Visionary, draw a card, hopefully aim for something. At least this one dies to non-combat damage, though if our opponent drops a Selfless Savior, that's a problem. So... I'm going to go for the Cultivate. I want to be able to drop Yorvo. So... Yorvo with Ram True backup, so let's just put this in. Let's see if our opponent has a broken opening. Selfless Savior. Okay, there's our problem. Season Hollow Blade. So at least we have a blocker. We just have no good way of attacking True. So we're gonna dig for Forest. Unfortunately, the Selfless Savior is something we have to deal with first, so I'm gonna actually just drop the Questing Beast now. And I'm gonna pass because there might... Let's see if our opponent notices this. Let's see if our opponent notices what's up. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if our opponent... Okay, he... Kinda noticed. So I'm gonna drop Yorvo. At least that gives us a blocker. So let's see what our opponent has for removal, but at least we have one ram true shot we can use. So basically the aim is to... Our opponent concedes, though... Okay, I'll take the concession, that was fine too. So there, we had the mid-game plan, we had some... we had the mid-game plan and we had some way to punch through our opponent. And our opponent, conveniently forgot about pack leader. I still want to have... I really miss Paradise Druid. That was probably our... I might drop the Wolf Willow Haven for a creature-based one, just so that we can say we hit stuff with the... We can hit stuff with Garruk's Harbinger. Another thing we can do is we can cut some of the ramp. Like, we're loaded on ramp right now. I could just cut some of the ramp, add some more mid-range. Like, more Occam adversaries, because those are fine. Death Touch is not bad. Okay, so Temple of Mystery, dig a land. If we can hit another land, we might be able to hold up. Well, it depends. I think there's the Primal Might. That's one piece of removal. Okay, there's Ram True. That's another piece. Actually, I want to bin this one. I'm trying to hope for a natural, because spirits. Hit another temple. Okay, I guess we'll do that. Let's see if we can hit the natural land. It gives us the option to cultivate. No Garruk's Uprising. We'll bin that in the bottom. Because another thing we can do is, if we hit one more land, it's Pixie into Primal Might. Although, it's kind of sacrificing the Pixie. Let's see what our opponent might actually just be playing rogues, so that might be a thing. So let's get more green mana. I'll play the Mara Leaf Pixie for now. Let's see if our opponent has counters. Yeah, has counter spells. Let's get that out of the way. So not so bad. But okay, opponent actually paying mana. So okay, so we just need to. Okay, still has mana up. So we need to land a creature. Although our opponent is. Our opponent is telegraphing Essence Scatter. So take a land. Let's see if our opponent counters this. Basically, let's see what's in our opponent's hand. Opponent is considering countering it. Okay, Drawn in the Law counters it, that's fine. In which case... Let's substantiate this guy. So that denies him the card draw at least. Buys us a little time. Our opponent is starting to look like a counter deck though. So... Rankle. That's his discard. So I probably discard Cultivate. Okay, we hit the land. So at least we sniped that one Rankle. Now let's see. And unless our opponent has another Rankle, we get to Beanstalk Giant into another and have something on reserve. Okay, opponent's now going into the mill plan. So we have now we're on the clock. Our opponent could have Thieves Guild Enforcer though, so we're actually kind of... Let's see, if our opponent drops the Ghostly Pilfer... Okay, so it doesn't have the Thieves Guild Enforcer. Not yet, anyway. So... okay, we definitely want the forest. More forests. Mara Leaf Pixie. This sets up the Beanstalk Giant next turn. Our opponent wants to use this as a way to draw cards to fuel their Teferi's tutelage. So let's take the Questing Beast. Okay, lost some lands, lost the other unsubstantiate. We'll take the hit because at this point our opponent could still get us by damage. So we'll cast the Questing Beast first. Let's get that removal. Let's get that counter spell out of the way. Drawn in the law. Okay. Opponent could have another one. Let's see. No other drawn in the lock, so we'll play the island. So now next turn we can just play these two. Let's see if our opponent has removal. Brazen Borrower. Okay, that's fine. But now it means our opponent is going for damage. Because, okay, we lost our... How many Ram Trues do we still have? We still have all 4. Opponent... Yeah, so we need to Ram True this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Let's play one of these out now. They get to... Oh! Nice. First time... Okay, we still haven't lost our Ram True yet. I need to hold this now because I'm about to take that... Because that's gonna be a faster clock. Opponent plays Thieves Guild Enforcer. Yeah, we need to start sniping these. There's a Borrower. Whoa. The mill is real, guys. We lost our Sublime Epiphany. Yeah, Teferi's tutelage is nuts. Oh. Torn Mammoth, Yorvo. Somehow we still haven't lost our Ram Trues yet. So what would I ram first? Teferi Master of Time. Okay, this one's a bit on the awkward side.
Who's ready for a good time?
Yeah, we're probably gonna end up losing by this way though. Okay, lost another Beanstalk Giant. Yeah, this is literally asking for an Ugin. I guess I will. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, we did hit our Ram True, and our opponent. I'm gonna see if we can encourage our opponent to use the Teferi now. Blocks first. Doesn't block this one, okay. He's probably gonna phase this out. In which case, no phase out, okay. Can't cast this if I want to keep the Ram True up, so I'm gonna cast the Garrick's Harbinger. He's probably gonna go for the kill here, so I'm gonna snipe that one now before he starts dropping any more rogues. Unfortunately, neither of these have trample, so we didn't get any extra damage through. Opponent's now gonna hold this one back. Unfortunately, what? We need our other Ram True just to ensure. Okay, we lost our second. So we got literally 2 more. We hit an Uro, but the draw card might actually kill us. Because I know our opponent can just blank this one. Opponent plays another Teferi's Tutelage. Yeah, that usually seals the deal because that's 4 cards now. Okay, that's our third one. Okay, we still have 1 more. It's a shame that these guys don't have any natural trample. That's why I put the Garrick's Uprising. That's a way to benefit that on. We could also add the... Okay, no natural trample. Okay, hit the Tornwood Falls. That's not what we want. One, two, three, four. Yeah, we probably lost this one off the back. That okay, they draw a card first. Yeah, we're gonna, unless we can win, we lose. There's the Wolf Willow Haven. There's the Kogla. Well, at least we weren't casting Kogla anyway at this rate. So we did hit the Ram True. However, we can't attack with this. Yeah, there's no scenario where this works. Yeah, we're down to one card anyway. That's a good game. We'll see if our opponent, how our opponent decides. Like, we've not been hitting this one. Brazen Borrower. Okay, that's a good game. We just a bit, but not enough. And we had to deal with the likes. Yeah, we had to deal with the Rankle. We had to deal with a lot of things. So we're gonna make some changes here. Uro's fine. Questing Beast. I think I will sub it with Ugin at least. It's still bad if we whiff on that, but still better than nothing. So let's see. We'll keep the Questing Beast. Uro ramps us too, so nah. If we're gonna go broken, let's go broken. Let's put that Ugin on the top end. Are there any other considerations we can do? Like, there's Stone Coil Serpent, which is very flexible. It's a good way to get around it. It also has Reach and Trample. Like, I could say cut the Yorvo, because that's awkward. Just put the Stone Coil Serpent in. Sublime Epiphany is kind of okay. The Torn Mammoth, kind of... It has Trample. I'm going to just cut the Sublime Epiphany, add another Stone Coil, I guess. We could also ramp into, say, Meteor Golems. Although that's an interesting way to do a top end. Like, Garrick's Harbinger is a good middle end, but what... I actually have been ignoring artifacts at this point. Like, I could just sub the Harbingers out for Stone Coil Serpents since they could be played anytime. Another option would be Solemn Simulacrum. That's also a decent mid slot. I could run one Tasa, then just say Blink Meteor Golems, Blink Kogla. Hey, you know what? That's worth a shot. We're not gonna... We actually don't want to animate Tasa, so we reduce the vulnerability in that sense. It's... However, am I willing to sub that out for this? Probably not for now. So let's cut the Visionary, because we want more creatures, but we need them to be better. Yeah, I really want to put Gilded Goose, but that's not an option. Parcel Beast, unfortunately, is a 4-drop. Like, we don't... Henrik's Transformation's a way to buy time. Essence Symbiote, we could put in a Mutate Plan. Sir Farron. If only this gave Trample as well, then I'm sold. I would take it. Okay, let's check blue. Maybe Polywog Symbiote's a possibility. Yeah, unfortunately the 2-drop slot is awfully dry at this point. There's Glimmerbell if we want to block. Keen Glide Master. I'd rather get the bonders, but those are 3 mana. Yes, Illyrios if we need to have extra creatures. It's really gonna be in the green side, is it? Randomly shafting the mill deck. Well, not quite. It's not like they're after our life total, so that's kind of a bust. I guess we can't cut those. I guess we can't exactly cut those after all. I could randomly add more. I guess I could just add more of these guys. So it's a question if we can hit these and this. If we can hit these, we're fine. If we can't, it's this is slow running. So we're gonna give this version a try this time. There's actually so many good mythics. It's just like I'm restraining myself, trying to not go way too far. But we're gonna try this version. Let's see if hitting Uro is a better bet. No, hitting Ugin's a better bet than hitting Uro. Like, we only got one copy of either Uro or Ugin, so we're more likely to draw it late than early. So I guess that's probably a nod to the one nod to the Ugin in that case. So Tornwood Falls. We could randomly have a 2-drop depending what our opponent drops. Kind of wish this looked at more colors, but definitely Tornwood Falls turn 1. Stonecoil Serpent. Oh, this has entered the battlefield, so it actually incentivizes me to wait on this one. But I'm willing to drop early if I see that I have to. Preferably 3 mana. That's the barest minimum. Okay, Serrated Scorpion. This is gonna be so weird. I can afford to take 1 hit so far. This could be a sacrifice style deck. Kitesail Freebooter takes the Garruk's Uprising. So that incentivizes us to play Stonecoil Serpent turn 3 because that gives us a blocker here. Unfortunately, our opponent's not running green. This is looking like a mono black build. So any removal will hit Stonecoil Serpent. Let's see if our opponent remembers this. Nope, goes for it. So we have a Ram True option if we need to. Mars Grasp. Okay, this is just mono black, remove everything you got. So unless we can hit something that's bigger, I'm gonna be stranded with 2 Ram Trues and no creature. I'm gonna dump this anyway. I can't just wait. Yeah, our opponent has it. Could be another Murderous Rider. Okay, Heartless Axe. So this is literally just all removal, so yeah, this is the worst matchup for us. No way to protect. Oh, we got a third one. At least we're getting them all down one after the other, and we're burning the removal at least. Rankle. Okay, probably gonna end up Endy Sack. Yikes, we don't get to. So it's probably discard and sacrifice. Yeah. Yeah, horrible start. We never got the setup we wanted. Am I willing to just put the Menagerie back now that? Yeah, let's concede. We drew all our support cards, but we ran out of creatures because our opponent just happened to be playing all removal. I guess if we're really concerned for that, there's Heroic Intervention, although we were never in a position to drop a creature and have Intervention on hand. Yeah, so... Yeah, we also lacked the ramp, so there was really no good reason for us to have kept that hand. We need to ramp early, get stuff out. That's the only way we're going to win. So we cannot just keep a hand that does nothing. And even if it does something early, yeah, the black should have been a warning. Although Serrated Scorpion kind of put me off guard. I'm so used to seeing that in Sacrifice, I was expecting something else. Okay, we'll keep this one. Because we have the Beanstalk Giant at least. I can do Temple, Fable, Beanstalk. Opponent mulls one. Well, there's a land, so we can do Fable. So we can save the Fabled for much later. Opponent's playing green-white. This could be banned, usually. Interestingly enough, if our opponent's creature's not that big... Okay, Scavenging Ooze, so... We have a treat for our opponent. Okay, so we actually managed to get the Okim Adversary to work. It's also a warrior, so might be relevant if we... Okay, opponent has another Scavenging Ooze, has the option to eat one of their... Or not. We'll take that up. So I'm gonna swing, let's see if our opponent lets us draw a card. Okay, block, that's fine. I think our opponent's loading this up just so he can have something big. So... In that case, I want to go Fertile Footsteps. Let's get another foot. I don't have a reason to cast this, so we'll pass. We will still be short 1 mana though. Well, no, not for Kogla. We'll be short 1 for Beanstalk Giant. Opponent can grow this to a 5/5, so the Kogla can snipe it. Goes Fierce Empath, digging for something really big. Kogla of their own. Digs for a Beanstalk Giant. Okay, they need to ramp. Opponent could just gain 1 extra life. No reason not to use it. But I'm suspecting our opponent is stuck on mana, so... Yeah, but we got the ramp to pan out. Opponent gonna block. Probably doesn't want us to draw cards, but... Unless our opponent has a mid-drop... Yeah, we don't have any humans, so if our opponent plays Questing Beast, Realm Cloak Giant. Well, that's one way to wipe the board. So we can. Yeah, it's a good thing it's asking us to do the tapping. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just play another one. So next turn we can play Beanstalk Giant. Our opponent will get one first, but it'll be smaller because they have to use Castle Garenbrig. Okay, he's going to do the ramp first. So we have a shot at drawing a card at least. Opponent plays Fierce Empath. Probably gonna dig. Yeah, so Fierce Empath digging for giants. That's an interesting strategy. So might get another Realm Cloak just to wipe the board, in which case I'm going to just play the Beanstalk anyway. We're still vulnerable to Shatter this guy, but we'll leave it at that. There's a Feasting Troll King. Opponent's just literally blocking with everything. So if our opponent goes casting for any of these, I can just unsubstantiated wipe the turn down. I could also likewise just play this. No, we'll pass the turn. I could have also played the Stonecoil Serpent. I was just concerned that our opponent might have another Wrath effect. Feasting Troll King. Let's unsubstantiate that. Just buy ourselves a little time. It'll draw us one card. Our opponent's literally playing all the big stuff. We could actually put Feasting Troll King, in which case we will put in Gilded Geese as our... We will put Gilded Geese as our creature option. We can add removal in the form of Wicked Wolf. So we're gonna save the Stonecoil Serpent because we need this to be larger than any of these. Opponent sacking the food now? Well, I guess it makes sense because it needs to come in groups of 3. So opponent does cast a Feasting Troll King again. Opponent plays a Gilded Goose. In which case I now question that because our opponent now has to activate this twice. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna offer the trade because our opponent can only do this on their turn anyway. Yeah, let's offer that trade. Okay, so let's activate this. So this is what, 6, 7. Actually, this is cap. Let's set it to 9. So our opponent will get 2 creatures on board. Might have to use a another Realm Cloak Giant again. It'll be annoying though. Like we only have like 1 more of this. As far as big creatures go, we're left with a Questing Beast. I think we still have a Torn Mammoth. So probably Scry. Yep. So what am I looking for? Any removal. Literally any piece of removal. If I can get the Primal Might, wow, that'll be very big. Like, put in the Stonecoil Serpent, smash, hit the Charming Prince, smash. That's one plan. If our opponent... Well, our opponent probably should put the Feasting Troll King in now at this point. It's cast from hand, so blinking it would do nothing. We did hit a Ramshrew though. So let's take out the biggest one. I can only activate this during my turn. I'm concerned our opponent has more than 1 of these. I could swing with this one, take both of them out. Actually, I'll do that. It clears the board. It'll force him to play a 7/7. I guess we don't need this much mana anymore, so I'm actually gonna just activate 1. Yeah, let's have some extra creatures on the side. Opponent is missing food. Is now reduced to ramping, so but does have enough mana to cast the Realm Cloak Giant. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, activating Garen Brig. No, that's 6 only. Probably sack the food since, yeah, it wouldn't bother anymore. Okay, get another Wolf Willow Haven. So we're kind of winning off the back of one of these. So we're gonna see if we can just punch through with wolves at this rate. Probably should have started making more. Opponent does play the creature now. Can we hit a primal might? Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, going for the wolf. Okay. So just make another one. So we have the unsubstantiate as an option now. Thank goodness this removal sorcery speed. We're gonna see if our opponent has a no, doesn't have it. So there we go. We actually got. That's actually a very good one. I was actually scared for a moment there. I guess we'll do one more match. I'm starting to look up to cards like unsubstantiate. Sure, it's a horrible it's swapping out the remand effect in exchange for being able to bounce a creature. I probably would prefer Into the Royal because at least I probably prefer Into the Royal, but the unsubstantiate does buy time. So if our deck is running on tempo, we could get away with this one. Now, possible changes, yeah, I'm considering putting the Massive Menagerie back. So we have options here, but definitely gonna run the Fabled Passage first. I need to decide if I want to run Maraleaf Pixie. So we need to see what creatures that our opponent has. We're dropping the Pixie now. Drew another land, so at least with the Pixie, our opponent won't be able to gain life that way. We also want to make Stonecoil Serpent at least X equals 5 because our opponent's inevitably going to have. Okay, hit another Oakham Adversary. I'm gonna just go Cultivate right off the bat. So next turn, Haven Adversary. Opponent drops Heliod. Now is encouraged to attack. But so the next one's a 2. So this one's now a 2/2. Oh, 3/3. Oh yeah, it gains. We're gonna start pinging down that light a little bit. So it doesn't matter how big Speaker of the Heavens is if we can just. That said, our opponent could have not Conclave Tribunal. Okay, place a Daxos. So we need to be constantly pinging life. We want to look out for ways to remove this because any creature our opponent plays contributes to this. Auto trade. We'll see if our opponent has to fight this one. So opponent gets to grow this. Next turn we get to cultivate into adversary. So literally just adversary buying us time. And so Oakham Adversary, the poor man's questing beast. Next turn, Tornwood Falls. We just dropped the large Stonecoil Serpent. We should start rushing from there. If we can hit a Ramtrue, that's probably an option. Also, it's a good way to kill Daxos. Okay, ask and you shall receive. Let's see if our opponent blocks. Yeah, opponent's blocking. He doesn't want us to draw cards. So I guess a 6/6 is enough. And we reduced our opponent down to Heliod. Opponent's going to drop a Linden. We're okay with. Opponent might be incentivized to. Okay, no, not gonna block because just hit removal, please. Yeah, true. Okay, if I activate this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, we should have enough. Let's just do this now. Let's get it over with. And we kind of dodged it. I would have preferred to have more removal. Okay, there's an Alcade. Yeah, our opponent was hoping to drop it. Our opponent probably should just dropped it all at once. Get Heliod live. We didn't exactly have. Well, we had the unsubstantiate, but yeah, there was no reason to just hold this back. Because you wanted to have the blocker anyway for the Occam adversary. It's also possible our opponent just drew it right then, so that's pretty much the only reason I can think of, that's why. So there we go. There's some green-blue... A few interesting tricks here and there. Probably going to be in the lookout for more warriors. We might get, although the warrior synergy tends to be on white and red, we might get some good stuff that way. We'll see about that one. Anyway, that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe. Have a great rest of the week, everyone.